Hello, and thank you for joining us at Blue Team Buddies, your one-stop shop for cybersecurity. Today, we're going to demystify MFA, or multi-factor authentication.
And today we're going to go start this section off by talking to you about the few most of the common MFA authenticator apps, such as Google Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator, 1Password, and there's a few sites that actually want you to use Authy. For Google Authenticator, you can install the application straight from the App Store. If you're on Android, you'll find this in the Play Store and in the App Store if you're on iPhone. And you can follow the instructions found here.
Thank you, Grim. And I want to talk about why legacy MFA, or multi-factor authentication, doesn't really work anymore. You may be familiar with the old way of doing MFA, which was you log into your account and you set up a phone number. And then when you log in, it texts you a code then that you put in the site. Grim, why don't you tell me why that now is a legacy and not a good idea?
Yeah, this sort of attack is pretty frequent, especially among cryptocurrency enthusiasts. But it's where an attacker will call up a mobile phone provider such as T-Mobile, Verizon, and attempt to pretend that they're you. They will claim some sort of emergency is happening or their phone's broke, and they just need you to transfer the number. And the operator is just going to go ahead if they haven't been trained, if they switch it over to that handset. Now all the attacker has to do is know your username and password, click the button, and that 2FA code gets straight sent right to them. They can log into your account without an issue.
Yeah, well said, Grim. This actually happened to me about 6 years ago. It was awful. Luckily, my bank got all my money back, but it was an eye opener for sure. So it can happen to even the most seasoned security pro. So that's why we're trying to kind of pay it forward and basically let everybody know what is going on in the security world, because it's always changing and there's always better things we can do to help secure our data, our privacy, and our identity.
Definitely.
So there are we talked about the text messaging form of MFA, which is sort of that legacy mode, which is it's they're highly vulnerable. SMS and other mobile MFA is also susceptible to phishing, and so there are better MFA techniques that are available now, and I'll talk about three. The first one Grim touched on was the MFA apps like Google Authenticator. And those are wonderful. When you set up Google Authenticator, you log into Google with your Google username and password. You go to your account settings, go to, I had it right here, go to private. Right. Oh, I gotta sign in again, which is a good thing. So if I go back,
Indeed.
yeah, you go
What do you want?
to your account settings, you go to security, and then you scroll down a bit and you'll see two-step verification. You want to click on that. You'll see I already have two YubiKeys set up, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But you can also set up an authenticator app. So if you go to the authenticator app, see I have authenticator added 304 days ago. And so I'm using an authenticator app and YubiKeys. Now, when you have both set up, it's going to default to YubiKey when you sign in. Because it's the stronger method. And we'll talk about YubiKeys in a moment. But in a nutshell, this is where you go to set up all your, even here, you can see how I set up my phone number, which I'll blur out, from the legacy days of MFA. So I have the authenticator app and the security keys. Excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold. And speaking of YubiKeys, here's one of the YubiKeys I have. I actually have two of these, and the reason why I have two is in case I lose one. I would definitely suggest, or strongly suggest, you get at least two YubiKeys and you register at least two with each account that you're setting these up on. For instance, on Google, you can see I have my UB main, and then I have a UB backup that's in a safe. So in case this gets damaged or I lose it, or maybe I have it on a keychain and I lose my keys, who knows, you'll have that backup. And then if you do lose it and you end up using that backup, make sure you order another one to have as a backup, right? So, but these are very, very convenient. When you sign into your account, well, I'll use Google again as an example. I log in with my username and password on a new computer. It says, okay, now use your security key. I pop the security key into my computer's USB port, and it says touch the logo. So I touch the logo, and then it lets me in. And that's all there is to it. And these come in different sort of flavors. This one's the USB-A with NFC. And the USB-A can plug into any computer. I use it on my PCs, my laptops, my Mac, Mac with dongle, because all I have is USB-C on the Mac. And then NFC for my mobile phone. I have a 14 Pro, and on the any Android made in the last decade has NFC as well. They also make a USB-C variant, so maybe you only have the latest MacBook Pro and an iPhone 15. Well, then you can just get the USB variant, not worry about the NFC, and just use the USB-C on both devices, because both devices support USB-C now. Same with
And for
iPad
those of
Pro.
our audience who may not know what NFC is, you care to make a little bit of a description there?
Yeah. So in the latest smartphones, with the funky, stupid lightning ports that we all love and hate, they have a sensor right here up in the top behind the phone. So when it tells you when you're registering the NFC app with, say, your Apple ID, which you can also do, you just hold it back here, and then you touch it when it asks you to, when you set it up with your phone. So in
So
your
there's no need to actually insert it into the device, right?
Right, right. For any device that supports NFC, you can just use the NFC. They also make NFC USB adapters for PCs and laptops that don't have NFC, to where it's just a little pad that sits on your desk, and you can actually use the NFC to just do the MFA that way instead of plugging it in. So you have a lot of options, and these are very, very secure and solid way of authenticating. They're not really vulnerable to the SMS attacks, because they're a separate device, separate from your phone. They're not really vulnerable to the MFA fatigue attacks, again, because it's a separate device. But they could still be sort of vulnerable to a social engineering attack, to where they might still be able to socially engineer you into plugging it in. But because they're on a different computer, even if you plug it in, it's not going to work, because they have to plug it into their computer for it to work. So really, it covers all three of those bases. So that's why I would definitely recommend yubi-keys. And Authenticator app, which we will cover how to set that up as well. I mean, if you're using the Authenticator app with number codes, you're pretty secure too. Just be aware that people will try to phish you or try to fatigue your MFA if you go that route. Well, thank you for watching. Please leave any comments, leave any suggestions if you have anything to add. The comments are open. And please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching Blue Team Buddies.
And remember, always keep a backup close to you, whether that's your Authenticator app codes or a YubiKey.
Well said, Grim. Thanks again. Bye.